Hello there everybody, Sam's Trains here. Welcome back to the railway and welcome to the model railway news for December, which means that this is the very final model railway news of 2021. So before we get started with all this news, I just want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I hope you've had a great year of modelling, that is. It would be in horrible taste to have said I hope you've had a great year generally after the one we've just had, but I hope you're still enjoying the hobby at the very least. So let's crack off with the news for this month then. We'll start with Hornby's latest updates from their engine shed blog, because they've revealed a selection of decorated samples of their new and updated A1 or A3 locomotives. They've got Doncaster here in the LNER green, Lemberg in the LNER black, which has caught my eye actually surprisingly, and then good old Flying Scotsman in the LNER green. Now each of these locos seems to be a huge step up from the previous version of the model, which is very, very good to see, to the point where if the finish and the apparent build quality seen here in these photos makes it to the final product, those will be very, very good indeed. I cannot wait to see how those turn out. And there's a few other photos as well which show off the firebox glow, which in these photos they've made look like a giant red blindingly glowing beacon for some reason. I'm hoping that's just some bizarre Photoshop effect and you don't actually need sunglasses just to look inside the cabs, but it's nice to see that they've got the firebox glow. Now, so the next part is about the hush hush, and I wrote this little script before my hush hush arrived, so let's hear what I had to say, shall I? So I write, a few days before I got mine, Hornby have announced the arrival of the first two hush hush locomotives, with some customers receiving theirs already. There are mixed reviews, some saying that the models are lovely, praising the performance and the detail, but there are also multiple reports of heavy fracturing in the bodywork and other significant damage caused by poor packaging design. Yes indeed. Well, say no more. If you want to see my review of the Hush Hush, there's a link up there. All I can say is, yeah, there's a good reason that Hush Hushes are turning up from Hornby damaged, and it's due to Hornby's negligence, in my opinion. Yeah, check out the video if you want to know more. I ended up feeling pretty depressed by the end of the video, but it's an interesting watch nonetheless. Finally, on Hornby, they have been running their usual December advent calendar again this year. Now, so far, it's just really been competitions, giveaways, that sort of thing. Not stuff that everybody can enjoy, just, you know, it's great for the one or two winners, whatever it is. There haven't been any sort of bargain deals and offers so far this year, and Hornby used to do those many years ago, and they were awesome. I remember getting some really good deals. Nothing like that so far, but it's worth checking out, I suppose. You do at least get to open a door every day and see what's behind it. So if you're interested in that, check it out on Hornby's website. The next update is for Dapol, who have managed to pull off the arrival of their beautiful large prairie locomotives before Christmas. If you want to buy one of those, I'll put an affiliate link down in the description. The model I reviewed was very lovely indeed, incredibly good looking loco. If you want to see the video, I'll pop a link in the corner right now. But unfortunately, as is quite often the case with Dapol's locos, my example was plagued with running issues, and I can now confirm that these issues do appear to be widespread, having talked to a number of other customers. Now, this issue can be improved by modifying the rear pony assembly so as to reduce loading on the trailing wheels, which in turn would lift the drivers off the track. Yet another mechanical design error from Dapol, which is really unfortunate because it's dragging their fantastic products down. My method for fixing this was to remove the rear pony truck and just sand this little notch off. It's intended as a spacer, but it causes more problems than it solves. My example's still not perfect now, it's got torque issues still, and it does still hobble over points, but it no longer cuts out over points, which is definitely an improvement, I think. Next up then, Heljan have made a whole ton of announcements since my last model railway news video. The first update is less of an announcement but an update on a product that we already knew about. More specifically, it is the first look, well the first samples at least, of their upcoming O2 shunter in both 00 and O gauge. So it seems as though these two models are being developed in tandem, which is quite interesting. 00 gauge and O gauge version, according to these photos, at pretty much the same stage. These are hand assembled apparently, and for obvious reasons they don't look like the final product will, but looking past that, they do seem to be absolutely excellent, as well they should, given their RRP of £159, and no, that is not the O gauge version, that's the 00 gauge version. They've also announced a new batch of Class 35s, complete with some upgrades. They now have 21-pin DCC sockets and directional LED lighting. Mind blown. They've also announced a completely new tooled model of their Class 33/2, also known as Slim Jims, and these are to have modern features such as sprung buffers, NEM couplings, 21-pin DCC socket. The most important feature though is of course the accurate Class 33/2 body, which I don't believe we've ever had before. These are going to be available from retailers for around the £152 mark. Links below if you're interested in checking those out. The next update comes from Rapido UK, who have made a number of updates actually. The first one is with regards to their new gunpowder vans, which they say are currently in production and they're going to be with us early 2022, so not too long to wait on those potentially. They've also hand-painted their Hunslet 16-inch sample, which gives a much better, if not complete, idea of what the final product will look like. And as you can tell from the photos, a very simple splash of colour has made a huge difference to that sample, and already it's starting to look like a quality loco, so that's great. They've also shared some CAD images of their upcoming tip-filled Thunderbolt train packs. This includes detailed images of their new towed brake van, which looks pretty good. You've got Dan's House, which is some weird coach body thing on a Laureate low loader, if you didn't know about that. And of course the lovely locomotive herself, looking pretty awesome and complex in CAD form there. But slightly more importantly, Rapido have now announced the pricing for most of the range. So these are going to be the typical retailer prices, with the RRP obviously being a bit higher. The train pack, which includes the loco, Dan's House and the towed brake van, is £254.96 at the retailers. Does seem insanely expensive if you ask me, given that it's a loco and 2 wagons effectively. And then the line locomotive itself is going to be £152.96, which actually doesn't seem as bad as I expected, although it does mean that you're paying over £100 for the Laureate and Dan's House and the towed brake van in the train packs, which doesn't feel very reasonable, does it? That seems to be around 3 times what you'd usually expect to pay for 2 pieces of rolling stock like that. That said, they are Rapido, so the standard will probably be far higher than what we're used to, and the locomotive herself is looking fantastic indeed. Just cannot wait to see how these Lions turn out, and if you're interested in the train packs, as always, there's an affiliate link down in the description for you. Let's finish off then with a few poll results, which are actually really quite fascinating this time. So first up, I did a review this month for the very first time of Bachmann's H2 Atlantic locomotive, which means at last I finally experienced all 3 of Bachmann's British Atlantics, which is really cool. So with so many great liveries out there to choose from, I wanted to know which was the viewer's favourite. So here's the result. It's pretty interesting actually. A 34% majority went for the Great Northern Green, and then the least popular option, I don't think this is a big surprise, was BR Black at just 11%. There's a major focus in detail and prototypical accuracy in this industry these days, with Hornby's Simon Kohler recently suggesting that this is the be-all and end-all when it comes to modern locomotives. Now, there certainly are some very vocal people out there who do seem to value prototypical accuracy above all else, and you know where to find those people. There's 1 or 2 forums where there's a little nest of them, if you will. But I've been wondering, is that truly representative of the hobby's people at large, or is the industry being swayed by a very small but a very vocal minority? Well, to find out, I asked you which aspect of 00 or HO locomotives was the most important to you, and over 5,000 people responded to this question, which is a pretty good sample size. Of my sample then, by far the least popular answer was prototypical accuracy. I had a feeling that might be the case. Yes, only 6% chose this option, which was followed jointly by level of detail and build quality at 12% each. The most popular answer by a really long way was value for money, with over 50% of the votes, with performance coming in second place at 18%. This tells me that while there are a lot of customers who do care about prototypical accuracy, Manufacturers who make this their sole focus, and particularly those who forget about value for money and performance, might be making a big mistake. What do you guys think? Anyway, that is the end of the model railway news for this year. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've really enjoyed delivering the news this year, and I hope you've really enjoyed consuming it, and more importantly, the products that the news videos have been all about. So have a very Merry Christmas, have a Happy New Year. Comment down below, let me know what you thought of the news. Is there anything you'd like to be included in the January edition? Comment all that down below and I will see what I can do for next time. But for now, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you soon. Alright, cheers everybody.